Hello, welcome to Krafting Kitty. My name is Erin and it's Saturday, so it is time for my weekly roundup. Yeah! So my weekly roundup is where we talk about my week, generally in crafting, but might talk about any other little things that popped up, my books I'm reading, stuff like that. And also this week, we're doing, well, I guess not just this week, until I run out of Halloween-y things. We've got a couple of Halloween things we're opening every day. So we will pop into that. I did want to put a little disclaimer alert at the beginning here. At the very end, I will talk about the MCAL, the Stephen West Geogradient MCAL. So if you don't want to see spoilers as to where I'm at in the design, it's not far. But if you don't want to see it, I will bid you adieu. If you don't want to hear anything about my take on the controversy, I totally understand. It's been talked a lot about, so I would bid you adieu. But that will be at the very end, so you can see the rest of it and then pop off if you need to. Okay. All that aside, we have the stitch marker of the day from Miss Ellie Leva at Ellie Leva's Crafts and More. She just put on her community tab that she has a Sugar Skull set that she is releasing. So if you are interested in that Sugar Skull kind of Dia de los Muertos vibe, that celebration, you can go check it out. She's got a couple of sneak peek spoilery things on her tab, or if you just know that is my thing, message her and you can email her and she'll get you hooked up. It's $36 for the set, including shipping in the United States. She does ship international. You'll have to talk to her about the shipping rates, and that is $36 for the 15. It comes with the stitch marker holder. Bingo's having a party downstairs with Brian. Don't worry, she is supervised. So you get like the stitch marker holder. She often throws little extra goodies in it. So you get the whole awesome set that you see everybody opening. And yeah, check out Ellie. She's awesome. But this is her Halloween set. I did not get the scary movies. I'm not that into horror movies. Like, I'll watch them, and I used to be much more into them, but I just wanted the Halloween set. So that's what I got. Let's see what day 3 holds for us. It's got a super cute jack-o'-lantern sticker. Oh, that is adorable. It is a enameled bat, a black bat with kind of future. When I see this color, I always laugh because when I was growing up, we had a couple of movies that my dad got for us that we watched endlessly. And one of them was Santa Claus the movie. All I remember is Dudley Moore was in it. I don't remember who played Santa Claus. I don't remember anything else. But they were at one point talking about the color of a candy. And they were trying to decide what color it was. And they came up with puce. And whenever I see this kind of magenta-y tone, I always think puce. So that's why I giggled. Puce came to mind. So here we go. It is much more of a purpley magenta in person. I think the orange is making it read bright pink to you. That is so pretty. Oh, I like it. The bat is so adorable. So here is my set so far. Oops, I missed it with the lobster claw. When you message her, you can tell her what type of clasps you like. So I've ordered these enough that she knows I like a mix, and I don't care. But you can do the lobster claw. You can do the circle ones, which are good for crochet and knitting because you can pop them on your circular needles. She also will put them on safety pins if you are like if you sew and you're going to use it to pin fabric or something. So she has options there. If you're interested, you just gotta let her know. She's very, very awesome to work with. So there we go. Stitch markers of the day. Now we have the next day, day 4 of my yarn calendar. This is a Coraline themed yarn advent countdown. I'm not sure what you want to call it. From Silly Goose Yarns. She does have a few more of these available. The sparkle weight or the sparkle base is sold out, but she has 2 other bases that are available. So if you are interested, you can hop on over and still get in on this. It's very limited, but I did check yesterday they were available. So let's see what day 4 has. I'm excited. Now I know to feel for extras. I don't, oh, there's something in here. There's something extra in here. Oh! It's a key sticker. It's a key sticker. That is awesome. And, oh, this is gorgeous. This is a very beautiful plummy purple tonal sparkle yarn. Let's see if we can get the sparkle to show up. Are you gonna sparkle for us? A little bit. This is gorgeous. And this totally reads Coraline to me. It's like perfectly Halloween-y purple and absolutely in the Coraline vibe. I love it. I love it. So, I realized when I put up the Bliss box, I didn't talk about price. And I don't think I talked about the price of this, but I think the price depended on the base you got. And honestly, I pre-ordered this back in like April or May. So I don't recall, but it was in like the 150s, 170s range for this set. So, I mean, it's hand-dyed yarn. So that's what you get. And it came with the cute candle and all that stuff. So, that is the Silly Goose Coraline calendar. So, we can, oops, I'm going to put my stitch markers back in there so I don't lose those too. Okay, the crafty projects. What do I have? I have 2 finished objects this week. Actually, I finished 3, but I'm not going to show the sweater because I showed that yesterday. I made 2 washcloths. This washcloths are for the Starfish Association. They are a group that is collecting washcloths to aid homeless veterans. They make washing stations and they have like tiny home communities that they're building. It sounds like a very awesome organization. Heather from Strings and Threads was doing a Scrubby Sunday, and where she was making washcloths to practice her knitting. And then she found somebody cute crochet. She started crocheting washcloths too. And anyway, they reached out to her and said, hey, you're making washcloths. We need washcloths. Maybe we could do something. And she said, of course. And of course she put the call out, and so many of us responded because washcloths are fun, easy, and it's a great thing to do to donate. It's a win-win for everybody. So I have, these are just 2 standard half double crochet washcloths. I didn't do any Tunisian this time because I didn't get one made last week. So I wanted to be sure I whipped out 2 quick ones to make up for last week and then get one made for this week. So just standard half double. I'm still using my sugar and cream kind of Christmas stripey yarn. Why did I forget the word yarn? Oh my goodness. That I got on clearance from Michael's. There's no pattern. I just chained 30 in the second, no, I did it in, yeah, the second hook from the chain. Started in a half double, went all the way down, chain 1, turn, half double, chain 1, turn, half double, blah, 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 until it was about the size I wanted. And that's what she got. It's easy. Definitely something you can pick up and put down without problems. So yeah, those are my 2 finished objects. If you're interested, check out Heather's channel to learn more about the Starfish Association. I also have their website and the address to mail the washcloths in down below. But Heather is the point person on this. Although you are not sending Heather or me or anybody your washcloths, send them straight to Starfish. Send them straight to the American Starfish. We don't need them. They need them. They are collecting through Veterans Day, which is November 11th. And then we'll see where we go from there. I do like the idea of continuing something donation-wise, something like charity-wise, but I don't know what it's going to look like. I'll see maybe what the other people are doing and see if I hop on one of their trains. Let's be honest. So yeah, let's hop into my works in progress, my whips. I'm looking around trying to figure out, okay, so I have to set this bag to the side because that's going at the end. We'll start with this one in front of me. For the Krafting Kitty Creator Spotlight this month, we are doing Tamara Kelly at Moogly. She has both a YouTube channel and a blog, so you can get written patterns, and she has tutorials. So very easy to get her tutorials, very easy access to her patterns and tutorials. I make something to be one of the giveaway items for this event. I have started doing the Heather Stone shawl. I have a black and white printer, so everything's in grayscale, but this shawl is actually gray. So it's a pretty good representation of what it should look like. She uses Caron Simply Soft in hers. I am using Lion Brand Ferris Wheel. What I like about her initial design is the classic gray and white. It goes with everything. I wanted to see how it would look in a variegated, and I am loving it. I'm using the colorway Pink Marmalade. Let me double check that. Here it is. Ferris wheel. That's the color. Yes, Pink Marmalade. Very pretty, and I am chugging away at it. It's a triangle shawl, but you start it at the long end, and then you work as it gets shorter, and then you will put a border on it. So here you go. This is where I'm at. So when it's done, this will be the long end, and you kind of would wear it on the bias almost. So this is, I think this is gorgeous, and I kind of think the colorway fits the season. It's kind of fallish, kind of Halloween-y. It's got some bright pinks in it, but it's also got the purples, some greens, and some golden-y, kind of browny colors. Anyway, I think it's pretty. It's coming out a little brighter on my screen than it is in person. But there we go. I am on, I'm working on round 31, row 31. It goes up through row 89, and then there are, there's 2 edging rounds, and then there is 2 border rounds. So what? 89, 90, 91, 92, 93 rounds total? Something like that. So, I'm probably about a third of the way there, but remember, you start big and you get small. So, it's going to get smaller as well. I'm going to speed up until I get to the border where you have to circle the whole thing. Anyway, I am really enjoying this. I think the pattern is a nice, easy repeat. It is, you build it up through round 6, and then round 7 through 10 is your repeat for the bulk of the body. So it's what, a 4 round repeat after you get the beginning base done. Yeah, I'm liking it. It will be linked down below. Let's talk knitting. I'm still working on Bingo's socks. She wanted the orange sock from Premier Fruits. So here we go. It is not much further than I was. So I'm using the Premier Fruits yarn in orange. My needles are the Clover Takumi 9-inch circular bamboo US 2. When I need them, my DPNs are Chowgu stainless steel US 2s. The pattern I'm using is kind of the Crazy Sock Ladies vanilla socks on 9-inch circs with the Premier pattern that shows up when you look at this yarn. There's 2 patterns. There's an adult socks and a kid socks. Obviously, I was looking at the kid socks, and I just kind of smushed them together because I didn't quite like the toe shaping on the Premier sock. But then she wanted a shorty sock, so I'm not really following. I'm making it work. They're socks. They're going to fit her little feet. So this is my nighttime project where I put the kids to bed and I kind of work on this because it's pretty much just knit, 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 knit. And you can do that a bit in low light. And I am one of the lucky ones who can knit without looking. So, I mean, I got a lot of practice. So, but I'll say here, we have a new addition to the family. So if you're in my Facebook group, I posted some pictures, but we adopted a cat on Monday. So it was all exciting. It was very exciting. Brian and I swore to ourselves we were not going to get another male cat. And then Chomps just absolutely fell in love with his cat at the shelter. And he was out to interact with, but he wasn't available for adoption the day we were there. And it broke his little heart. There were so many tears. And so the moment we knew he was up for adoption, it was actually the next day, Brian ran out there and we were able to get him. And so picked him up on Monday, and we're now back up to 2 cats, 2 dogs, but we know we have to integrate. So he's in the basement, which we can shut off. It's completely finished. But Brian or I have been sleeping down there. That's where our guest bedroom is. And because we don't want him to be alone overnight or anything. So I obviously, when I'm down there with the cat, I'm not working on the socks. So Chomps has been sleeping down there with us to you know, be with him because he loves him so much. And Bingo tried sleeping down there one night, and he's 11 weeks old. Actually, we've had him almost a week now, so he's probably close to 12 weeks old. He is all things playful in a kitten, and it was a bit much for poor Bingo. So when she was trying to sleep, so she hasn't been sleeping down there with him, but you get the idea. So Brian and I have been kind of switching off, and then the socks have not been a priority. The kitty has been a priority. We are getting ready to today introduce one of the dogs, Riley, our lab. He's the older, he's the calmer of the 2. So we're going to introduce, his name is Pete, to Riley. And then we are going to, after he gets introduced to Riley, we're going to bring in the bundle of energy that is Ollie. We'll introduce that, and then we're going to introduce him to our other cat last, because she's just, we want to make sure he doesn't have any like kennel cough, anything like that, which he's shown absolutely no signs, but they say to leave about 2 weeks. So we'll give him this next few days to introduce to the dogs and get acclimatized to the dogs, and then we'll bring in the cat, and then he'll have the free range of the house. And I see no reason why this isn't going to go swimmingly well. What else is going swimmingly well here? I have been working on the blanket that I was making for Boggy Creek. So this is, it's kind of a pattern I took inspiration from Kim at Kim's Crochet and Knits, and she is back home. I am so happy, Kim. I'm so happy you're doing well. I took your blankie idea. So this, I've learned this is called the Suzette stitch. So I've got 2 different colors. Lion Brand Ice Cream Yarn Big Scoop in, it's some sort of nut. Butter Pecan. And then I've got a gray Bernat Baby Sport Yarn that I'm pairing it with. So I'm doing 2 rows of the gray, then 2 rows of my color, 2 rows gray. And that's what I'm getting. I think this is fun. It's a nice, easy repeat. And it's getting there. I'm working on it. It doesn't look like a ton of progress because I am using 3 weight yarns and a 5mm crochet hook. So it's going to take a while. I don't know what border I'm going to do. I think Kim did a shell stitch. My battery is yelling at me. I think Kim did a shell stitch. I might do that. I might just do... You know, I think a shell stitch would look nice. It looked nice on hers. I might take that too. Okay, I'm going to switch batteries. Be right back. I'm back. Okay, so the next project I will talk about is another sock. Here it is. I'm working on the ribbing. I'm almost done with the ribbing. This is, I'm using a Queen's Crafts by Bridget bag. This one is the one with the little handle. This one is just the 100-gram one. So if you want 2 kind of sock bag examples, there you go. I'm not going to talk too much about this other than I'm making a pair of socks with this yarn. It's going to be for one of my Mary Maxim reviews, which I am trying to get back on track with. So my goal is to get a review up this coming week for the other one I had done. So I got a sock. I'm not going to make you wait until I finish the sock. I want to finish the ribbing, get a couple of rows of knit. It's basically stockinette stitch. Because it's stockinette stitch. So I'll get a couple of rows of stockinette stitch going, just so I have enough to show you and feel like I can confidently talk about the quality of the yarn. But, you know, it takes a while for me to make a sock, and if it's the project I'm working on in here, that's going to take even longer. Anyway, quick look-see. Yes, I have talked about all of the projects I wanted to. So, super quick here, we're going to switch into books I've been reading. And then after the books, I'll go into Stephen West. So if you're not interested in books or Stephen West, have a wonderful day. I will see you later. If you want to talk books, let's talk books. Okay, so I did finish a book, and it's not the Patrick Rothfuss one. So I jumped on the Fourth Wing train. This book was, you know, it's pushed so much on like the book channels on Instagram. I don't have TikTok, so I don't watch Book Talk or whatever. But yeah, I get like the reposts of it on Instagram, and I could not escape the book. So I got the book and I read the book. I figured I should read the book because the sequel's coming out, and by all counts, that one's going to be a popular one too. So yeah, I got it. I was able to get a copy from Costco. So awesome. Fourth Wing, Rebecca Yarros. I thought it was pretty fun. I've read a lot of differing reviews. A lot of people think it's overhyped, and I totally get that. You're going to get those type of people anytime there's popular item, you know. Someone's going to think it's overrated. It's too cool for them. Or they're too cool for it. And to me, this is just a fun, rompy book. Some people are trying to call it high fantasy. I don't think it's trying to be high fantasy. I think it's just a fun fantasy book. It's basically, in my opinion, Divergent, Hunger Games-y a little bit, but not as dystopian, with dragons. And yeah, you got dragons. You got a couple of spicy bits. There's 2 especially saucy scenes, and they're not even that saucy. Some people say it's young adult, some people say it's new adult. I believe because of the language, there is coarse language. If you don't like F-bombs, this might not be the book for you. If you're okay with cruder language, shall we say, and 2 spicy bits that really aren't, I've read spicier, so it's not 50 Shades of Grey spicy, although I have not read 50 Shades of Grey. It is not, I mean, a lot of the scenes in Outlander are spicier than this. Like, not just Outlander the book specifically, but Outlander the series are spicier than what you're getting in here. What was I saying? Talking about spicy bits now, and I've lost track of time, or words, anything. I'm befuddled. But yeah, I think it's fun. It's kind of got, like I said, it's fantasy. It's got some of the enemies to lovers tropes going on. Kind of romancy, fantasy, dragons. There's some magic. There's some fighting. I thought it was fun. I was talking about the high fantasy. I don't think it's pretending to be high fantasy. I don't think she intended to write high fantasy. So don't hold this up there. I don't think she thinks it's up there with Sanderson, Tolkien, C.S. Lewis. I don't think that's what she's attaining for. I think she wanted to write a fun, good book, and I think she achieved it. So yep, the sequel is called Iron Flame. It's coming out November 7th, I think. And if you're in my Facebook group, you saw I kept seeing this mystery book that was hitting like the #1 bestsellers. And it said, no author, no title, no picture, nothing. All you knew was the publication date and the publishing company. It is this publishing company, and it comes out the same day as the sequel. It has been spoiled. So if you want to know what that book is, I did jump on because I can't resist a mystery. I can't. So I placed a pre-order for the mystery book. I'm getting it regardless. But if you were wondering and you saw that post, if you want to go look it up, it's been spoiled and you know what it is. I'm fine with it. I'm glad I pre-ordered it. I'm going to talk a bit generally here in case you don't want to be spoiled. Will I keep it? Maybe not. I might look to resell. And the other book I did when I finished that, got back into The Wise Man's Fear, Patrick Rothfuss. I've been reading the Kingkiller Chronicles. I finished the first one, which is The Name of the Wind, which if you are familiar with this book series, that's probably the name you remember. You know, often with these series, everyone refers to it as the first book rather than the name of the series. You know, Outlander, Game of Thrones. No, barely anyone except for the super geeks call it A Song of Ice and Fire. So, or ASOIF. OIAF. You call it Game of Thrones. So, Kingkiller Chronicles, this is day 2. I really, really, really like this book. This is high fantasy in my mind. And so the idea is there's a guy, he's kind of secret his identity, a scribe has found him, and the scribe wants to get his life story. He tells him, okay, fine, but it's going to take me 3 days to tell you. Book 1 is day 1. Book 2 is called day 2. Presumably when book 3 comes out, if it comes out, it's been long promised and not delivered. I don't know. Will be day 3 of the Kingkiller Chronicles. There is a novella, The Slow Regard of Silent Things. I've bought it. It's on my bookshelf waiting to be read. There's also another little short story that's in an anthology called Rogues. Not the anthology is called Rogues. I do not know the name of the short story. There is another novella in the series that is set to come out very soon, November, something later in November, maybe it's December. Don't recall, you can look it up, just look at Patrick Rothfuss and it'll come up. That one I don't remember the name of either, but it's exciting. If you do not like unfinished series, don't start this one. Wait for book 3 to come out. Don't break your heart. I'm okay with that, and I very much like the universe he's created here, so I'm willing to keep reading all these other books and hope book 3 comes out. It's a sword and sorcery style fantasy book, and yeah, I like it. I don't want to give lots of plots away in case people want to read things. Those are my books. Now, second warning, I'm going to talk about the MKAL now. So, if you don't want to hear about the MKAL, please, I'll see you later. Adieu. Goodbye. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. If you want to hear about the MKAL and see where I'm at, stick around. I am using the hexagon bag that we made for Things We're Making Thursday as my project bag for this. I'm going to kind of slowly get out all of my paperwork while people might be signing off. Okay, and so this is Geogradient, West MCAL 2023. My printer was running out of ink when I printed that one up, so it's kind of a bad picture. But, okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room first. The controversy. Even if you aren't doing the MKAL, you've probably heard about this, but he released Clue 1. People started working on it. I joined the Ravelry group, but I don't check Ravelry often. Really, the only time I go to Ravelry is if I'm trying to look up a pattern. So I was caught off guard when I got the email saying, hey, there's a controversy. You know, stop doing the original Clue 1. And I was like, whoa. this is weird. So of course I had to jump to Ravelry to try to figure out what was going on. And I'm not going to share a picture of it. He was starting what in quilting would be a very traditional pinwheel design. It's a design that I've doodled, I don't know, countless times. He himself, I know this pattern was tested multiple times by multiple people. So people are like, oh, why didn't it get caught before? I think maybe it didn't become apparent until it was done in certain colorways, because I think the color could have made the details pop more. So basically the controversy is within the pinwheel design. I didn't see it at first. Brian had to point it out to me, and then once I saw it I was like, ugh, but it's still really disguised. But people saying they were seeing a Nazi symbol in the background of the pinwheel. And of course, when Steven heard that, he went into damage control mode and was like, oh my gosh, because that is not a symbol I would think he would ever intentionally try to create or distribute or anything. So I feel my heart goes out for Steven. This is not the way I think he wanted this MCAL or any MCAL, any event to start or to go. After I saw the email, I had not done much beyond what I showed you last week. So I just set it aside and I had to kind of sit with what I wanted to do. At the time, he was like, my understanding of what he was putting out was there are ways to change it, to make it less apparent. Maybe you make the stripes bigger, change your colors, you can disguise it if you want. Come a few days later, he completely scrubbed the original Clue 1, and he said he doesn't want that image of the original Clue 1 shared if he sees it in the Ravelry group or anything that relies too heavily on the original Clue 1. He's going to scrub those images. He basically wants to distance himself from that initial pattern at all costs. I think some people, I'm seeing some comments saying that, oh, they think it's an overreaction to overly sensitive people, especially people who are saying they can't see it. I think Steven did the right thing, although my initial thoughts were, what? I don't see it? No, what? What's going on? You know, like I was bewildered and I didn't see anything wrong with the initial design. I don't think there's really anything wrong with the initial design. I think it's very disguised. I think if you look, you can kind of see it. It's a bit of a stretch, but I understand where he is coming from in wanting it to be removed, and I respect that. So I also think Brian looked it up, because we know that particular symbol has harsher consequences in Europe than it does in the United States and other parts of the world. It is actually illegal in the Netherlands, where Steven is based, to distribute or sell, to show, to display that symbol. So I think to protect himself legally, in case somebody did look at it and say, whoa, it is there, he needed to do this. He needed to cease distribution. He needed to stop it from being displayed. He can't have that, to protect himself. And I don't know if in the law of Netherlands there is an intent requirement or not, because I absolutely 100% believe he did not see it. He didn't know it. He had no intent to spread that symbol. So yeah, I feel very bad for him. And I'll be honest, initially it sucked a lot of the joy and excitement I had for this MCAL out. And I wasn't sure I wanted to restart it. So I sat with it for a couple of days and then decided to recast on. So I recast on with the now Clue 1. I'm not doing any of the modifications. I'm just following what Steven sent out as Clue 1. And here in 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna, I guess I said 3, 2, 1, and then I can't talk, caught on my yarn. I'm gonna hold it up, so if you don't want to see what it looks like, look away. I stopped here mid-round, so it was at a good point to kind of see the start of the square. So here you go. I'm through 3 color rounds of the new thing. I'm using the magic loop method. I really don't like magic loop, but I thought the MKAL is a time to challenge yourself, so I'm going to use the technique I don't like. The beginning rounds look very sloppy, and I'm not super happy with it, but I think, I don't know, I think that's going to look fine. I can kind of sew up the middle to make it look nicer. I'll make it work. But yeah, here it is. I'm on the 3rd color repeat, so I'll have to go to the 4th color repeat. So I'm quite far behind. I haven't even started clue 2. I have it printed, but that's about how far I am. I gotta say, I've seen the pictures of the new color one, or the new clue 1. I'm kind of underwhelmed. I'm not as excited, but I'm gonna do it, and I think I will become more excited as I move away from clue 1 and those kind of feelings. You know, it happened. You gotta choose to either move on or cut it out, and I figured, let's just go for it. The whole point of the MKAL is to challenge yourself, and understanding that a pattern isn't working and you have to restart is part of creating. You know, there's a lot of times you start something and you're like, this isn't gonna work out, this isn't what I wanted, this, I don't like it, and you rip it out and you start again. I think this, I'm stumbling over my words. That is how I'm gonna view this, as it was a, ooh, this isn't working, let's recenter, refocus, and go. And I think by the time I'm done with clue 1, working on clue 2, all of this will be behind me, and we'll be working for it. And I really hope that Steven's doing okay. I keep calling him Steven. I don't know him personally. Mr. West sounds too formal. I'm going to just call him Steven. I hope he's doing okay. I hope he realizes that we understand and everybody knows it sucks, and we're rolling with the punches and we're behind him. And, you know, I hope it doesn't quash his desire to do any of these mystery events in the future, because I think they're fun. I never finished the 2022. Twists and Turns is still sitting in my other room. I am determined to finish 2023 Geogradient. So yeah, I'm gonna get it done. We're gonna see what it looks like. We're gonna see this to the end. And you know, at the start of this, I kind of was like, oh, I don't even know if I'm gonna buy it. Then release day came out. I'm like, I'm buying it. And I was like, oh, I'm not gonna buy my yarn. I'm just gonna see how it goes. And then I bought my yarn. And I was like, oh, you know what, next year for 2024, if he does it, I'm going to hold off. I'm not going to start until it's done. At this point, if he decides to do 2024, I will buy the pattern on release day just to show support behind the idea and the man. And I don't know if I will do it, but I will buy it to show that support, because this is, I think he needs to be reassured that we are still here and still loving him, and that is, I think, one way I can do that next year. So I will end on that note and see you guys all tomorrow. Bye-bye!